welcome everyone to the final session of SEM. So, in the last lecture we are discussing about what is SEM, and it is also called as a path analysis, a covariance analysis. So, we talked about that it is also called a structural model. You are trying to establish a relationship among several or develop several hypotheses, and this hypothesis is based on certain theory, right, which you must have read in literature. And if suppose there is no literature also, do not worry, that means you can talk to experts and then come to some logical conclusion ki this should happen, A should affect B. Then such a kind of situation where there is a relationship existing on basis of some logic, then you create a model and you test it. So, this is the second part. So, which say the first part is the measurement model, where we try to connect the constructs and see that the model is a fit and it is a valid model. And the second part we are checking that this in the structural model, that the relationship among the various constructs is there is some kind of a relationship, a positive or negative or some kind of a relationship, right. So, today after doing that, we what we have learned today, we will continue with the same, and we will talk about a new concept here which is very important, called mediation and moderation, right. So, what is mediation and what is moderation, we will learn about it, and what is the role of mediation and moderation in SEM and any statistical analysis we will see. So, what is this mediation? Mediation effect is created when a third variable construct intervenes between two other related constructs. You see, many times in life it so happens, if I tell you a joke, or you can understand better. For example, in India we have seen when there is a marriage between a boy and a girl. So, if there is an arranged marriage, then we see that if there is a kind of a person who is doing this getting proposals for boys and girls, if he is present, then the pace at which you get proposals for for your son and daughter becomes little more, right. So, there if you do not have this mediator, this we say suppose a Brahmin, right, in earlier days we used to say it is a Brahmin. So, if this Brahmin is there, his job was to do matchmaking, and if he is present, then you will get more number of such proposals. But if the Brahmin is not there, then when you try to search for yourself, for your daughter and son, it used to be very difficult. So, this is just an example. So, mediation effect is created when a third variable intervenes between two other related constructs. Direct effects are those, for example, that links the two constructs with a single arrow. Now, you see there is a variable A and there is a variable B, and there is a direct effect. So, A directly affects B, okay. But indirect effects are those relationships that involve a sequence of relationships with at least one intervening construct or the mediator. So, now A affects B, but now through the mediator. So, earlier the parents, the father of a daughter, let us say, and the father of and this is let us say a son, father of a son. So, searching for each other was a very difficult proposition, but today when the presence of this matchmaker is there, so it becomes little simpler. So, this relationship is weak, then the same when you pass through the mediator and reach here. So, this becomes more faster. In chemistry or chemical terms, you can understand the presence of a catalyst, right, or sometimes some enzymes expedite the reaction or the growth. So, this is the mediator, okay. So, from a theoretical perspective, the most common application is to explain why a relationship between two constructs exists, why does it exist. Example, suppose A is student intelligence, B is class performance, and M is equal to the study effectiveness, okay. What is interesting is not just that the relationship exists between intelligence and performance, right, but how students translate their intelligence into performance, okay. So, study effectiveness, this M mediator, may provide an explanation of the relationship between student intelligence and class performance. So, if this mediator would not have been there, then you would not have been maybe able to understand why this happens. So, the mediator's role is to explain why it is happening, why it is the reaction becoming at a much faster pace. So, this is what it explains. So, what are the conditions for mediation? First of all, let us understand. Let A is equal to an independent variable and B is a dependent variable and M is a mediator. So, there are three variables, the mediator, a dependent and independent variable. So, what it says is this is from the we will talk about the Baron and Kenny model, right, Baron and Kenny. So, you can search for it also, there is a very popular paper. What it says is A should be related to B, A is the independent variable, B is the dependent variable. So, A affects B, A also is affected or related to M. What is M? The mediator. M should be related to the B, which is the dependent variable. So, A is the independent variable, B is my dependent variable, M is my mediator. Estimate an initial model with only the direct effect, that means we are saying only the direct effect, A affects B, so there is no mediator. Then estimate a second model. Now, the second model is A affects B, but now it is affecting through M, let us say this is the one, right. So, we might not use this one, we might just try to see this effect, right, between A and B. If the relationship between A and B remains significant, the relationship between A and B remains significant and unchanged once M is included in the model, then mediation is not supported. That means what? Suppose let us say you forget this, when you introduce the model, the M, the mediator. Now, after introducing, if M is very important, then this relationship should have become, direct relationship should have become weak, but if does not happen, this is still significant and this is insignificant, then we will say that the mediator is not doing any work, okay, or it is not supporting. If the relationship between A and B is reduced, this relationship is getting weakened, okay, A and B, but remains significant, it is still significant, although it is weak, but significant. When M is included, then we say there is a partial mediation. What it is? A partial mediation is supported. Suppose this value, this estimate, right, is becoming little poor and it is less significant. When once you introduce this M, then we say it is a partial mediation case. The third relationship, it says if the relationship between A and B is reduced to a point which is not significant now. So, we cannot say there is a relationship is existing and A affects B, we cannot say that, right. It is not statistically significant. After M is included as a mediating construct, then it is a case of a full mediation. So, that means what? If M is present and while if you go to B through M, then it takes let us say less time or it is more effective, then and this path becomes completely insignificant, then we say it is a very clear case of a full mediation. Okay. Now, look at these three diagrams. So, drinking intensity leads to suicidal ideation. So, people who have a high drinking intensity, it leads to suicidal intention is a hypothesis. But if let us say if it is a if we pass through a mediator, depression, that means what? If the presence of depression is there or not, how that affects, let us see. So, if somebody is drinking a lot, drinking means drinking alcohol, if he drinks a lot, then there is a chance of his getting depressive, right, and if it is getting depressive, then the chance of suicidal intention is becoming more, right. So, this when this depression construct was introduced, a variable was introduced, then this relationship has suddenly become very weak or insignificant, then it is a case of a full mediation, right. Now, let us look at this case. Now, IQ affects performance and we introduce the amount of study time also. Now, we say the study time is the mediator, let us see if it is a mediator or not. Now, if you look at the estimate, the loading IQ and study time, it is 0.02 and study time and performance is 0.45 and IQ to performance is significant and it is at 0.56, which is I think the highest out of the three. But you see the point is, since this is the direct effect is the highest, so there is no there is no effect of the mediator as such. So, and both are not significant. So, that is why since there is no effect of the mediator, it is a case of a no mediation case, there is no mediation. Now, here you see when math efficacy was introduced, this is a relationship between math ability and interest in the math measure. So, if somebody's math ability is good or high or low, will it affect the students interest in the taking this subject as maths as a major subject. So, to have that, we have introduced a math self efficacy, that means can he do it on his own on his own. So, when we introduce this construct or variable, what has happened, you see this relationship is strong and also significant. Now, this relationship is also strong and significant, but this also is strong and significant. It has weakened, maybe it has decreased, but it is not completely, it is not insignificant, it is still significant. So, when this is also significant and these two are little stronger than this value, right, this direct effect value, then it is a case of partial mediation, right. So, this is partial mediation, this is no mediation, these two are not significant, only this is significant, and you see this one, now this has become insignificant and these two are significant. So, this is a case of a full mediation. Okay. How to do this mediation analysis in AMOS? So, we will take the same case of the paper industry, ABC paper industry, which was covered, right. So, this we have seen this, there are 5 constructs: job satisfaction, organizational commitment, staying intention, environmental perception, attitude towards co-workers, right. So, we had 5 constructs and we want to see how they are related. Now, you see, now final thing is that you want to find is staying intention, correct, and these are my 2 independent exogenous constructs, right. Now, you see, organizational commitment is a mediator, is acting as a behaving as a mediator between environmental perception and staying intention. Okay. Similarly, job satisfaction is also acting as a mediator between environmental perception and staying intention. Another thing is job satisfaction, between job satisfaction and staying intention, organizational commitment is also creating as a mediation. Attitude towards co-workers and staying intention, their organizational commitment is a mediator. So, some of these variables are playing the role of mediator also. Okay. So, remember I have told you these arrows have not come on their own, you have to have some sound theoretical perspective for developing this directional relationships. Okay. Now, to do that, first of all let us see what is this environmental perception, attitude and staying intention, environmental perception, attitude and staying intention. Let us forget these two, right, and we create a direct relationship. So, we say environmental perception directly affects staying intention, attitude towards co-workers directly affects staying intention. To check the mediation, first check the direct effect of these two EP and AC on the staying intention. Let us see, right. So, when we do this, so when we run this, I will show you how I have this, I brought this data set. So, we are talking about this one. Now, you know how to take the data and all. So, how to put in the data. So, you can go to file, data files, right, file name. So, this is the file. So, open. Okay. Okay. Now, you have inserted the variables, you have done it. Now, let us run this. So, let us see the direct effect. So, when we take the direct effect, right, see. So, first of all check whether the model is fit or not. Okay. So, well, the model seems to be quite robust, no issues with it. Now, let us see the direct effects. Now, direct effects, if you see, environmental perception affects staying intention, yes, it is significant at a 0.001 level. Attitudes effect on staying intention is significant. So, we require these two, correct. Okay. Now, let us see, let us go back to the slide, right. So, let us take the the mediation effect. So, first we will take the direct effect model. Okay. So, this is the direct effect model. So, environmental perception and attitude, both these exogenous variables are affecting the staying intention. So, just look at it, what you should do, you first create this direct effect, I have already done it. So, this is the model, right. So, now I am running it. So, when I run, so I will get some results. Okay. First you look at this analysis summary, what it says, it is a without mediator direct effect. Okay. Now, let us go to the you can check the model fit also, it is highly, it is a very good model. So, now let us go to the estimates. So, when you go to the estimates, you had what did you have, environmental perception. So, the model was so this was environmental perception on staying intention, correct. So, environmental perception on staying intention. So, this is the one. So, environmental perception on staying intention. So, environmental perception on staying intention. So, look at this first environmental perception staying intention, is it significant? Yes, it is significant. So, the next one was similarly attitude towards co-workers and I think staying intention. So, attitude and staying intention, is it significant? Yes. Okay. So, both the direct effects are significant and the estimates, the standardized regression estimates are 0.528, 0.178. So, we now know that the direct effect is significant and these are the estimates. Now, we will see for another model where you have the complete model, right, where the mediators are present. So, environmental and staying intention, in between that you are getting a job satisfaction. Environmental and let us say staying intention, you have got a organizational commitment. Similarly, attitude and staying intention, you got a job satisfaction, and similarly organizational commitment. Now, when we run this, now the mediators are present. So, when we run this, we will get a mediator effect. Let us see, okay, what is the mediator effect. Now, if you go to the analyze summary, so what it says, effect with the mediators. Okay. Now, let us see the model fit. So, now the direct effect model was better, or this model. Now, if you see this chi square by degree of freedom, this value has improved. So, now improved here means that higher the value, lower the model fit. Okay. So, the model has not improved as such, the direct model was better than this mediating model, right, because this value has become improved. Okay. Now, still let us see the estimates. Now, if you look at the estimates, so environmental perception leads to job satisfaction, attitude leads to job satisfaction, attitude goes through organizational commitment, right, job satisfaction leads to organizational commitment, and then environmental perception leads to organizational commitment then goes to staying intention. So, if we go through this indirect path, each path, let us see, first of all environmental perception to job satisfaction, is this significant? Yes. And then from job satisfaction to staying intention. So, let us see job satisfaction to staying intention, is it significant? Well, not that high, right. So, it is significant if you take at a 0.05 level, but at a 0.001 level, no, right. So, now one of the direct effect was highly significant, but here one is significant, the other is not significant. So, in this case we cannot say that there is a mediation effect, and overall the model has also improved. The second case, attitude and job satisfaction, right. So, attitude affects job satisfaction, okay. Is it significant? Not at all. So, that means again the relationship between attitude and staying intention through the mediator job satisfaction is also not a valid case. So, there is no mediation effect. Now, let us take the third case, attitude and organizational commitment, significant? Yes. Now, organizational commitment and staying intention, is it significant? Yes. Now, you see this is also significant and this is also significant, and the direct effect was also significant. So, here we can check the regression effects, here you can check these values. So, let us see, let us go back again. So, attitude towards organizational commitment, right. So, attitude towards organizational commitment 0.201 and organizational commitment towards staying intention 0.552. So, if you see now it is the direct effect was also significant, the indirect effect is also through the mediator also significant. So, that means what? It is a case of partial mediation, right. Now, do you have any other thing to show full mediation? Full mediation would have been possible only if the direct effect was would become weak. So, what you can do is simply you can do one more thing, go to this model, right, take this and develop an arrow which is a direct path, right, and again develop one more arrow from here to here. Okay. So, in the same model let us see now what is going to happen. Okay. So, let us see this estimate. Okay. Environmental perception and staying intention. So, let us go to environmental perception and staying intention. Is it significant? Yes, it is significant. So, the direct effect is significant. Now, environmental perception now through the mediator, now job satisfaction, is it significant? Yes. Environmental perception then job satisfaction to staying intention, this one, is it? No. So, no mediation case. Now, second case, attitude towards staying intention, the direct effect. So, let us see the direct effects, attitude to staying intention, it is not significant, it shows here the direct effect is not significant. Now, if we go through the mediator, what is happens, let us see, attitude towards job satisfaction, right, is it significant? No. So, this case is also gone. Attitude towards organizational commitment, yes, and organizational commitment to staying intention, let us see, organizational commitment to staying intention, significant. Now, in this case when organizational commitment is becoming the mediator, you see the model is becoming significant, but if you would have taken directly removing organizational commitment, then the model was insignificant. So, this is a case of a full mediation. Organizational commitment is showing a full mediation, is fully mediating the relationship between the attitude and staying intention. But if you would have taken the other variable, which was job satisfaction, then it was a case of no mediation, right, because it was not improving the model. So, when you see these three cases have happened, when the direct effect is significant, but the indirect effects are the mediating effects are not there is no effect or there is no improvement, then it is a no significant mediating effect case, right. If the direct effect is insignificant, but the indirect effect or the mediating effect is fully significant, then it is a case of full mediation. But if this would have been significant, the direct effect and the mediating effect would also be significant, then it is a case of partial mediation. This is the three case, right. So, I hope you have understood what is mediation effect. Okay. Now, let us go back to the slide. So, we have checked this. So, you can draw a table like this and write the relationships, the direct effect and the effect through the mediator, what happens, right. So, this you can develop on your own and you can show it, right. I have this table also. Now, build the overall model again to check the mediation between EP and SI through JS, EP and SI through JS, EP and SI through OC. So, you can check this, right. Okay. So, this is the how the the result is shown, and here if you see, suppose this is suppose this value is a tentative value, suppose 0.528 was the direct effect and 0.278 is through the mediator, right, then it is a case of a partial mediation. Now, 0.528 is the direct effect and 0.457 is through the mediator, again a partial mediation, because both are significant. Now, look at this case, it is a direct effect is significant, but this one is not. So, what should have happened here? It is a no, right, no mediation. This one is significant, this one is significant, but this one is higher, right. So, this is a case of a full mediation, but this is still not a very bright case. Had this become insignificant and this would have become significant, then it is a clear case of a full mediation. Okay. But this is still because this model has improved, but here the model was significant, but this was a larger value. So, it was a case of partial mediation, right. Okay. Now, coming to the next fact part is moderation. What is moderation? Moderation effect occurs when a third variable or construct changes the relationship between two variables. Example, let us say in some cases, for example, does the gender of a person affect the ability, the emotional stability, or how emotional somebody is for others, does the gender have an effect? So, if you want to see the effect of gender, or if the effect of religion, or the kind of place they come from, suppose you want to see such things, then this is called a moderating effect. Okay. Example is that there is very slight difference between moderation and mediation. If you I will try to clear you what is that difference. For example, we would say that a relationship is moderated by size of company. If we found that the relationship between two variables differed significantly between large and small companies, for example, firm size. Okay. In multiple regression, for example, there were interaction terms, or in ANOVA when you were doing, you have heard about interaction, right. So, in ANOVA, right. So, this interaction is nothing but the differences between groups. So, this is what we do in the moderation effect. So, how for example, the gender effects, the female and male behave differently is a group behavior. So, that is what is a moderation effect, or you can understand it as an interaction effect. Now, for example, you see moderator must be chosen with strong theoretical support. Lack of relationship, now this is very important, please. Lack of a relationship between the moderator and the other constructs helps to distinguish moderators from mediators. Mediators do have a relationship, right, but moderators are not directly related, because for example, in our case emotional stability we talked about gender. Now, gender moderates, but gender is not directly related. So, the constructs are not related to each other, right. If it would have been related constructs, then it is a case of a mediation, right, but here we are talking about a new variable or construct which is not having a relationship, as we said gender, size of company and all these things. Okay. So, you see CRM service quality, customer satisfaction value affects service CRM quality, and CRM quality affects the customer loyalty. Now, this is a mediator effect, right, this is the mediator, and this is the endogenous variable, and these are my exogenous variables. So, and in this one has got no relationship maybe because high image low image has no relationship with service quality, satisfaction and value. So, I would term it as, or the let us say the color of the mall, right, say for example it has got no relationship, then that is my moderating effect. Color of the mall, the kind of music being played in the mall or some example I am just saying. Types of moderation. So, non-metric, generally we use non-metric moderators, but suppose you have some categorical variables or some continuous variables or metric variables, that can also be done. What you can do is you can categorize in a way that makes sense, right. For example, job satisfaction can be used as a moderator by converting into categories such as highly satisfied and less satisfied. Suppose you know the income of people, let us say there are hundreds of people, you have their incomes. So, instead of taking the exact value, let us say 9,000. So, what I 9,200, let us say 10,800, let us say 11,600, let us say 21,000. Now, what I am doing is I am going to do is I will say anything less than 10,000 I will place it in group number 1, anything between let us say 10,000 to 20,000 I will place in 2, and anything above let us say 20,000 I will place in the group number 3. So, now I have created 3 groups. So, continuous variables I have converted into categorical variables, and I can use it as a in the moderation. Okay. So, multi-group SCM is used to test moderating effects. Metric moderator is converted into non-metric. Okay. The first group model is estimated with path estimates calculated separately for each group. I will show you. A second group model is then estimated where the path estimate of interest is constrained to be equal between the groups. Now, what we do is basically we look at the chi-square difference, right, between the models, and if there is a significant, now see, comparison of the differences between the models with a chi-square difference indicates that model fit significantly change when estimate are constrained to be equal. So, if models are not significantly different, there is no support for moderation. I will tell you what it is. Now, let us see, instead of let me show you a moderating effect. Let us say here I want to introduce and see the effect of size of the company. So, what I do is how to run the moderation, you go to this, right. So, first I am creating a new variable, sorry, close, I have created too many. So, here I will write, right. So, this is large L, okay, then new I am saying. So, this is now I will say this is small, okay. So, we have created these 2 groups now. So, just you have I have written L and I have this is, and here I have written S, so small, right. So, now I have to give the let us say the go to the view and I have to see the variables in the data set. So, I have not taken the, I have to take the file. So, data file. So, okay, file name, okay, this is the file, open, okay, right. So, again you sorry I just should not have closed it. Now, go to the grouping variable. Now, what is my grouping variable? Size, okay. So, what is my group value? Now, 1 is for large. So, 1, okay, right. So, large is 1 and small is go to the file name, it is not required, you can just go to the grouping variable. So, again size, okay, and the group value 2 is my small, okay. So, I have got my 1 and 2 values large and small, and I know about it. So, now when I am running this model, you see what will come. So, we get the analysis. So, first check the model fit, right, this is for the entire model, okay. Now, what you can do is you can go to the estimates, right, and you can go for these 2, you can see these 2 L and S. So, these 2 what we had given 1 and 2 numbers, right, large was 1 and this was 2. So, if you see now the model the relationships for large companies, for example, environmental protection, how the relationship between environmental protection and job satisfaction, attitudes and job satisfaction, attitude and organizational commitment, all of this. You can see here that the first one is significant, the second one is not significant, third one is significant, fourth is not significant, 5, 6 significant, 7 is not at all significant, 8 is significant and 9 is not significant, right, if you take a 0.01 level. Now, same thing let us see for the small firms what it is happening. So, if I take the small firms, right. So, you see, so the first one was significant there also, but the significance values is changing, right. Second one you see, and you see one of them was very highly insignificant there. What was it? 0.998 job satisfaction to staying intention. Let us see here what is happening. Job satisfaction to staying intention is only 0.022 for small firms. So, now you can see that the variables, the significance level and the critical ratio, this value of the variables is changing for small and the large firms. So, accordingly you can explain now ki what is the condition when it comes to large firms, which of the variables or the relationships are significant and which of them are not significant. And similarly for the small firm you can explain which of them are significant and which are not. So, this comparison between groups is nothing but called the moderating effect, right. So, I think you are very clear with it. It is a very simple technique, you can easily write it and show it and say when we did a moderation effect we found that the most important thing is try to find out if there is any particular variable which is any particular relationship that is not becoming significant in both the cases, then that is a very clear case that it is insignificant for both the relationships. So, the group does not have a effect on this particular relationship, but if suppose one is affecting the large firms and some other is affecting the small firms, but not the large firms, then in that case you can say well the moderating effect shows that this particular relationship is only effective in the large firms and not in case of small firms, and vice versa the another relationship was possible and significant to be found to be significant in case of small firms, but not in large firms, right. So, this is what you basically do in case of a moderation effect. Well, I think you are slightly clear or you are clear with mediation and moderation effect, and if you have understood you can easily write it and publish it in your research work. Thank you so much.